Cade Horton is out. Who's going to step up for the Cubs?
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Cubs play the Padres at 2:08 p.m. Central on Tuesday in Game 1 of the Wild Card Series. We're going to preview the entire series on our next episode, the last one before the first playoff game. On this episode, later, we're going to go over our content plans for the week, some promotion as well. Final playoff roster projection, with that not being actually due until 10 a.m., I believe, on Tuesday. Kyle Tucker returned Friday. Offense might be clicking at the right time. And we start with Cade Horton, who was placed on the IL Saturday with a right rib fracture. President of Baseball Operations Jed Hoyer said Horton wanted to give it a try, but after his throwing session Saturday morning, he realized he could not pitch this week. Hoyer did admit the Cubs learned about the fracture Wednesday, but did not disclose it. Horton, who had a 1.03 ERA in the second half, was likely to pitch in Game 1 on Tuesday of the Wild Card Series, but instead it will be either Matthew Boyd, Shota Imanaga, or could it be an opener? We have so much to discuss today. Plenty of good signs from the weekend as well. But Sam, this is a major loss with Horton.
Unfortunately, not surprising. When I did my solo show Thursday, I couldn't believe. I'm tired of the way the Cubs do this, and I didn't get tricked by it this time. I just didn't. Hey, he's good to go. He's going to throw, but there's an area of concern on the MRI, and we're going to have another doctor look at it. The alarm bells were all off, and we found out in the middle of our fantastic event at Almost Home on Saturday, and not even that news could ruin that afternoon, but it was. It's not surprising. We'll have to dig deeper in the offseason and just discuss injuries in general and how the Cubs communicate them. And
do you think they lied?
No, I don't think they lied. I just don't think they told the whole truth. You
would like them to tell more truth and communication.
I don't know if I would like them to do anything. That's my point. I don't think about it. I don't follow teams like I do the Cubs. So I don't know if other teams do this. I understand it from
a good question.
I understand it from a football perspective because there's some gamesmanship there. Is there a guy that's going to play in baseball? It's like, he's either going to be on the wild card roster or he's not. Like, why do you have to delay it? And it's like, and it just feels so selective with the news dump. Like they waited. I know they had to wait for him to pitch, but like they did it on a Saturday right before the game, right after the Cubs won their 90th game. Like it just feels very calculated in the way they release this stuff. But in terms of Horton, it's a devastating blow. It's a devastating blow to a team that you really felt about a month ago, you felt like they could really hang with anybody in a 3-game series because of the way Horton and Boyd were throwing, and then Imanaga. Now you're going to go into a series where things have kind of flipped, which we'll talk about. The offense looks a little bit better. Now you have questions about the rotation, and your best guy and your most reliable guy over the last 2+ months is going to be on the bench.
Yeah, I think Hoyer's availability helped me this time. It definitely took my temperature down.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to follow their line of reasoning and what happened. And I'm choosing to be less skeptical this time, just on based on what people have said just in the last 24 hours or so. With that being said, though, the Cubs have not disclosed not one but two fractures to basically their best hitter and their best pitcher this year.
Right.
So whether I appreciate Hoyer's response on Saturday, which I did, and I understand Horton was out. We have the video. He was out there. He had the thing wrapped around. He wanted to try because it's not an arm injury. So let's try. And after that, he just, nope, can't do it. But yeah, I'm not thrilled about them not disclosing, but I've definitely cooled off, at least this time. But he was the game one starter. He gave up like 5 runs the whole half.
Yep.
And it's a major loss. Boyd and Imanaga at Wrigley, if the Cubs score just a little bit, they should be fine. The Cubs are 26-11 this year and 17-3 at Wrigley when either Boyd and Imanaga are on the mound and the offense scores at least 3 runs. They should be fine, but it's still disappointing. And I do think Tyone and Ray are the next guys in line. But, man, you were hoping for maybe to see them against the Brewers, and you might need them as soon as Thursday.
Have you shifted at all with like wind blowing in, wind blowing out? Because it's impossible to tell with the weather right now. Like today's game, on Sunday's game, the wind's blowing in at 73 degrees. Tuesday, it'll be 74 is the high. 70 is the high Wednesday. I'd imagine that would lean blowing in. 71 Thursday, but it's really not really dependent on weather anymore. So it's kind of up in the air what the wind's going to do. Are you like, and seeing what the Cubs did this weekend, at least Friday and Saturday with good hitting conditions, have you shifted, or are you still kind of where I was with, hey, let's just grind out 3-4-2 type wins?
Yeah, I'm more towards the latter. I think with the wind blowing in it's going to help.
Yeah, well, especially because you just got struggling pitchers.
Yeah. Boyd was better this week, but Shota wasn't.
No.
So, yeah, I think more and more. So what I'm trying to do right now is convince myself that they could still make a run, right, which is incredibly difficult. But what's helped me is Craig Counsell's tagline, the 27 outs. And I'm putting.
Has that really
names,
helped you? That's helpful.
It has. I'm putting names in my notebook. You know, we could do some of that with roster later, but he's the likely rookie of the year is out, and that's just it's a shame.
Yeah, the rumors and the reading in between the lines stuff is starting to make me think you're going to see kitchen sink when it comes to pitchers. Like you may see Imanaga just go max effort for 3-4, and any speck of trouble, here comes Soroka, here comes Ray,
sure.
Here comes Tyone. Whatever they do, it's going to be very kitchen sinky. I still think they should just give the ball. Right. I still think they should just give the ball to Boyd game one. That seems like a little too much.
Yeah, I'm not into the opener on Tuesday.
Well, especially because Boyd and Imanaga have never done that this year. They've never come out of the bullpen, so
doesn't make sense.
They might be unfamiliar with that. If you're worried about them, then just have a real short leash and make sure that, hey, Soroka's ready to go in the third or fourth.
Well, also, who would pitch the first inning? Do you have a name?
I have no idea because
can't be Assad.
It would have to. Yeah, it would have to be
Soroka.
It would have to be like Ray.
Okay. Yeah, have to be Colin Ray. That's the name. You're right. Unless they get absolutely
I
loony.
think that's overdoing it.
Unless they get loony and pitch Keller.
No.
Do you want Keller to face the top 3 guys in the first or the ninth? Yeah,
no. They won't do that.
All right.
That just made me.
Quick note on Horton. He's not eligible to. I saw some reports. People doing the math. He's not eligible to return until the NLCS. He could replace an injured pitcher in the NLDS, but someone on that active roster would need to be injured.
Let's put it like this. If Cade Horton pitches again in 2025 for the Cubs, it's unbelievable news.
Be fantastic.
It would be.
Hopefully he pitches game 1 of the WS.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, we go from pitching to hitting, which this week provided a lot of good signs. Let's get into it. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. I always reach for my favorite flavor, peach mango, because it's refreshing and it gives me that quick lift before a busy day of school, podcasting, family, and more. And throw out the boring, flavorless caffeine. Enough with it. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today to try.
This episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings in the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligrams and 3 milligrams nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. I've used the caffeine toothpicks before big meetings and long drives. They give me energy without the jitters, and the flavors like peppermint watermelon ice actually taste great. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com, use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks.
Shout out to the everydayers. You become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. Entering Sunday, the Cubs averaged 8 runs per game in their 5 games this week. PCA, Bush, Seiya all got to 30 homers. PCA, the first 30-30 player since Sammy Sosa. Seiya, after a major power outage, had an offensive barrage this week, especially the last couple of games. And Bush went 8 for 17 with 0 singles in the 5 games entering Sunday this week. 4 homers, 3 doubles, and a triple. And the one single he could have had would have been for the cycle. Some minor drama on Saturday when Ali Marmol intentionally walked him late in the game. Kyle Tucker returned Friday. He'll likely DH in the wild card. Sam, is the offense clicking at the right time? Because it sure looks like it to me.
Yeah, it was kind of everything we've been talking about for 2+ months, and they did it on a homestand. I mean, even in the Mets series where they lost 2 out of 3, the offense was really, really good. And, you mentioned it. I mean, Seiya being the biggest story, I thought it was completely fair for us to come out and question his ability to start against the righty with the way, he hadn't hit in 2 months, and then he had more production in a 4-day stretch than he had in 2 months. And, we've always talked about it, the Seiya roller coaster. Well, is there one more, peak on it? And that's going to be the question. And, Michael Bush, you talked about, he completed a really nice season for himself, a really good season. And Pete starting to show signs and then some, and just Tucker being back in the lineup makes you feel more comfortable. I think, I also think it just shows you how important it is for Wrigley to play normal. When the weather this week was it wasn't even hitter friendly as much as it just wasn't wind howling in, and the Cubs took advantage of it. And, I think we're very hard on the Cubs bats at home, but like so many of these games this year, the ball doesn't go anywhere. And it just felt like it was lively and jumpy this week, and the Cubs took full advantage of it. And yeah, it gets you excited heading into this series. And ironically, the Padres are having a very similar outburst of their offense this weekend. So you're going to have 2 offenses that are feeling pretty good about themselves coming into Wrigley Field and clashing against each other. And, my thought process was pretty simple. Bush, Pete, Seiya, and Tucker, 3 of those guys rolling makes you think about April and May. And April and May had you thinking about really special things. And there's no reason to not think about really special things this week at Wrigley for a playoff series.
Yeah, not to do too much of this now because we're going to do a full-blown preview. But the Padres' weak point in the second half has been who starts the game. And that's why it's been frustrating for them having one of the best bullpens ever. But when they turn it over to them, they trail.
Right.
They had trailed a lot the last month or so. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. I think just the eye test this weekend for me was very helpful. Not to mention the results. It's just I feel so much better seeing Tucker out there.
Me too.
And that he's been able to. It's been more than a test drive. I mean, he played all 3 games. He ran the bases. He's hit the ball hard a couple times. And interesting that he might hit 4th. And,
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Behind Happ. Very weird.
But, yeah, special, despite a cold spell, it was a special year for Pete. Bush just red hot. Seiya gets to 2 milestones and 1 at bat, 30 homers, 100 driven in after, being quiet for a long time. You convince yourself about a deep run because maybe they can pepper the starters like they did in April and May, just as you said. And you look up at the graphic. Oh, what's that guy's pitch count in the first inning? Wait, 27.
Yep.
Wow, what a grind. Oh, 32. Even if it just starts with a 2, I think that's a win. But against the Padres, you'll have to do that and score. The Saturday lineup, Sam, against the Cardinals, I do think that's going to be what we see Tuesday.
Yep.
Bush, Horner, Happ, Tucker, Seiya, Kelly, Pete, Swanson, Shaw. And that's who got you here. Wasn't in that order necessarily, but these are the guys that are, you win or lose.
Yeah, the Happ in the 3 hole is a little weird, but I get it. Seiya Suzuki homered again on Sunday, by the way. Whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, the Happ lineup thing, 3 games. I mean, what I'm going to talk about mostly on tomorrow's show, so I don't want to step on it, is like 3 games of baseball. You find out about as much as you do in 3 games of baseball as you do in like a quarter of football, of 1 football game. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, it's just kitchen sink, whatever you got to do, whether that's hit the long ball, play hit and run. Dylan Cease doesn't like to throw to bases. Maybe you bunt at him a little bit. I don't really like. I'm not going to overanalyze.
I don't think I even knew that.
Yeah, I noticed it in a couple of starts this year. You just got to do whatever you got to do. It's not about really who the better team is in a 3-game series. It's about who plays better for 3 baseball games. I mean, you could see.
Well, these are football games now. This is the time of year where it is football every day.
The Kansas City Royals could beat the Padres in a 3-game series in Kansas City. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't mean they're a better team. So, that's the lineup. You run out the guys that have got you there. And I think the biggest thing you do is you just say, hey, guys, play with confidence, play loose, and just go for it. And let's see what happens. And let's see who's on the team, too.
I'll be saying this next episode and hopefully for a while. And it's because of the new format. And let me know what your feedback is. The regular season determines the best team. The playoff determined the World Series champion.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And that's why that's a reason for optimism.
100%. 100%. I love it.
Coming up next, there's probably only 2 or 3 spots, and it's really on the position side that are still up in the air for the playoff roster, plus previewing our plans for the week. Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by Nutrafol. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. There are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just hype. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. Whether you're at work, out with friends, or even just getting ready in the morning, Nutrafol gives you more confidence in your daily routine, and you can feel good about knowing Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs on your preferred audio platform or YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you. All right, playoff roster projection. I do have an updated graphic. You could take a look at that, go over it. But I think it's actually pretty straightforward on the pitching side, at least. Unfortunately, it is because Horton's out. So Tyone and Ray both make it. I think Ray was already on, but Tyone now. I don't have a place for Assad here. If they wanted to go 13 pitchers, then he would be number 13. But, historically, in the wild card at least, teams have gone 12 pitchers, 14 positional guys. So I have Ray and Soroka like bulk guys. Your short lefties, short relief, Rogers, Pomerantz, and Thielbar. And then on the righty side, short relief, Palencia, Kittredge, Keller. So, Sam, it's pretty straightforward on the pitching side, right? Or
yeah, the only thing that stands out to me on that list is so no Hamilton.
Yeah, so I guess he could pop up out of the Ivy.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I haven't heard anything about that.
Right.
So I guess it's not. You'd like to have the option.
I gave Alcantara the last spot.
Yeah, so to me,
pinch runner, Pete Insurance.
Yeah, I'd rather have Hamilton out there instead of Alcantara.
Okay.
Just because I love an ability where late in the ball game, it's Tuesday at about 4:58, and the Cubs trail late 3-2 in the ninth, 4-3 in the ninth, and Robert Suarez is a little overamped, and he walks Seiya to start an inning. Billy Hamilton could turn that into a triple, and a guy like Suarez isn't really accustomed to dealing with that. Then all of a sudden you hit a little infield shot, it's tied, and Wrigley's going crazy, and you know what I mean? I think the upside is just bigger on that, but I don't know anything about Billy Hamilton's speed. I don't know anything about where he's at. I haven't heard anything. I just figure that's why the Cubs got him. So
yeah, and Alcantara doesn't have the reps to do something like that.
No, he doesn't have that type of speed.
Or I guess the wheels to do it. Yeah. So I know Hamilton, he cameoed in Des Moines the last week of the season there for the I-Cubs. And then with a bunch of guys, he went to Sloan. So, he's getting his work in. That could be the 26th guy. I didn't realize, Sam, before Sunday, Castro hadn't played since last Sunday.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
So he's like the 25th guy. Ballesteros is a lock now. And Carlos Santana accepted an option to the minors Friday when Tucker was activated. But I don't think Santana is going to be on the wild card roster. No. So there you go. And I have Turner on there as well. Let's see here. Almost home shout out, Sam.
Yes.
Great events on Saturday. Eric and Holly, Chris from Ireland. Wow. John and his whole family, Jordan, Max, who was at the game today with the ticket giveaway, and Sam's generosity also sent people from our event to the game on Saturday, which was the next people on my list, Peter and Luke. Great to talk with them. Aaron and James. James wasn't there this time, but we
I
met him
talked to
last
some
September.
people too. I didn't write it down.
And what do you mean? These were all the people.
Yeah, but I talked to a couple people when you left that came.
What? They came after 1 o'clock?
Like 5 to 1.
Wow. Who was it?
Yeah, I talked to a gentleman who I took a selfie with, who has season tickets to the Cubs. And his first game that he was ever at was Ken Holtzman's no-hitter in 1969 of August.
Wow. They at the buzzer there, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Maurice and David as well. I believe Maurice was going to the game with Max, which was pretty cool. Having just met at our event. So, all right, appreciate everybody there. Always fun.
Was amazing.
And would really like to do something behind a mic this winter.
Yeah.
Live. And then maybe back at Almost Home in March or something like that. As the Cubs open at home next year. All right, we're going to be live 15 minutes after the final out for every game of the playoffs. That starts Tuesday.
Yep.
We'll be in your audio feed about an hour or so after the final out, right? Not as immediate, but pretty quick. And if you are on X, we would love for you to call into our spaces on Monday night. We plan to do one later Monday night, maybe about 8 Central.
And then I'll be doing a watch along on Tuesday just for the first few innings. It's not going to be all 9. I got some show stuff. The game's at the middle of the day. 208 Central, by the way, if we haven't announced that.
Yes.
So yeah, just a little playoff kickoff watch along on Tuesday, live after each game Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
Oh man, so excited. Full preview of Cubs Padres, our next episode. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Go Cubs.